This podcast is for professional voice teachers to answer the question, how do I grow my teaching business and even break out of that one-on-one lesson model so that I can reach and teach who I want whenever I want. I'm your host, Allie Tyler, voice teacher of over a decade and marketing and business coach for fellow voice teachers. Welcome to the Voicepreneur Podcast. Hello, Voicepreneur. Welcome back to another episode. Yes, I am so excited because we're going to keep this one short and sweet. It is simple. It is powerful. It is effective. Don't you feel like some of the most powerful things in life are simple, right? Like, I feel like we tend to overcomplicate things. Things like our schedule and our time management and organization and just like trying to keep up with all the things. So I first just want to say, if you are in this position where you are like trying to keep up with all the things, go check out episode 7 where we talk a little bit more, not a little bit more, a lot more about managing your time. That is actually not what I want to talk about. This is much simpler. And I don't know, to me in my life, when I really harnessed this, everything changed for the better. I really started to see progress in committing to my ideas. Because that's what it's all about when you are running your own business. It's like you have an idea and then you decide whether you're going to put it into your business, integrate it into your business, whether it's going to be free, whether it's going to be a paid for product, how you're going to market it, like all of that stuff, right? If your ideas, of course, have to do with teaching voice lessons, which is what we're talking about. So when you feel this way, it's so easy to get caught up in all of the crap in our life and to not really focus on an idea and actually follow it through and actually complete it, right? But I want to teach you something that will help you do that. I want to also share that it took me a really long time to figure this out. It is so damn simple, and it took me so long to figure it out, which is why I wanted to make an episode about it, because maybe it will resonate with you. Maybe you're going to listen to this and you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so silly. Well, duh, Allie. But maybe not. Maybe you will listen and be like, whoa, okay, I needed to hear that. So I just want you to know that you and I are so similar. I know exactly what it's like to wear so many hats and to have so many ideas and to feel a little like, I always visualize, what are those things called that are like in front of a business and they wave their arms around? They're like, there's like inflatable things where it's trying to get your attention. I don't know. I kind of feel like that when it's like a really windy day where I'm just like, and I'm waving my hands up in the air. Because there's just so many hats and so many roles and so many things we have to do. I remember in my early to middle teaching years, because in my teaching years, I've been a voice teacher for 12 or 13 years, one of those two. So over a decade. And so I kind of have this like early, middle, and late chapters of my teaching. So the early to middle years, I was wearing so many hats. I was doing all of the things. I was like a voice teacher, but I was also a group voice teacher where I was teaching choir rehearsals, and then I was singing, and then I was performing, and then I was writing music, and I was recording an album, and I was singing in choir, and I was doing all of the things, like wearing all of the hats and doing all of the things. And then there came a point where I wanted to transition to growing my business online so that I could have more time to do the things that I loved and not feel like that thing that stands in front of the like the car. Oh my gosh, I really need a name for this. Can someone help me out here? DM me what this thing is called so I don't have to keep calling it the thing. But so that I did not feel like I was like blah, 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 all the time. I don't like that feeling. I don't like feeling anxious. And maybe you feel this way, like it's kind of anxiety inducing to be a musician and to be a teacher and to have so much energy that you're managing and to have so much going on in your schedule, right? Like some people can do it and that's awesome. And I could do that in my 20s, but in my 30s, I can't do that anymore. I'm choosing not to. So I wanted to transition to grow my business online so that I didn't feel that way, so that I could really really prioritize my time in ways that made me feel good. And so that I could actually have the time for the things that nurtured my soul and self-care and, writing music and just the creative outlets that I really wanted to have more time for in my life that I didn't have time for because I was wearing so many hats trying to do all of the things, right? I realized as I was wanting to grow my business online, AKA I wanted to sell something other than private lessons. I wanted to make money in my sleep, right? That's the goal. That was my goal. So when I was transitioning, I started getting really addicted to creating content, and that's what everybody was doing. Instagram was starting to get really hot, with posting about your business and your ebook and all this stuff. This was 2016-ish time. And I really started getting invested in my brand look and the content and the videos. And then I would start going to business conferences, and I would be really serious about growing my online business. And they kept talking about how they just kept referring to the thing that you were selling, because that's what you do when you have an online business is you sell something. And I was sitting there realizing oh my God, I don't even have anything I'm selling right now. I'm maxed out with students. So I'm not trying to sell private lessons, but yet I'm so invested in growing my online business and making all this content and creating a brand. But I don't even have anything that I'm trying to sell. So I don't even have numbers that are relevant. I can't tell if I'm doing a good job if I'm not trying to sell anything. And anyway, it sounds so obvious now that I'm saying it out loud, but it's something to actually really think about. It's making sure that you are focused on the right things, And so you want to, of course, be focusing on the right things. And most importantly, this is the duh moment. Are you ready for it? This is where I really want to have a little drum roll. That sounds so lame. Those are my fingernails. Okay, drum roll. This is where you want to pick one thing. I know it is so groundbreaking, but it really is so important because it gets so addicting to think about all of the different ways that we can make money. And there are a lot of ways that we can make money, right? We know this. So we just have to pick one. When we start thinking about all the things, then none of the things happen. When we start trying to do all of the things, we end up doing none of the things. So why don't we pick one of the things? I did not mean to do that, but it really is so important. So picking one thing is crucial to actually following through on something. That's the first thing that we want to do is pick one thing. The next groundbreaking thing that you can do to make sure you get that shit done is to make deadlines. You got to set those deadlines. You got to create those deadlines. I know I hate the word deadline. I hate it. I like it. What do we want to call it instead? What's another word for deadline? The way that I like to view deadlines, it's actually it's kind of fun for me, honestly, is first and foremost, I try to find a date that feels energetically right and aligned. Now, I'm a bit woo in my business, so I like to look at things like what's going on in the moon and what are the numbers of that date and what's going on astrologically and all of that type of stuff. So you can absolutely do that when you are picking out your quote unquote deadlines or whatever word you want to come up with. If you have a word, let me know. I really want to know what's a better word for deadline. I hate that word, but it is so important. It is so important because once you write it down, you make it happen. I am looking right now at my calendar that has the 3 months in front of me, and it has in big, bright, colorful markers all of these little mini deadlines or just, due dates of when things are happening. And it it just happens because I put it down on the calendar. I gotta make it happen. Now, what's so cool about putting it down on the calendar and making it happen is you can work backwards. We talk a lot about macro to micro planning. So if you want to dive more into that, again, go check out episode 7. But making deadlines is really how that shit happens. It gives you that fire under your ass that you need, especially if you have people who are counting on that deadline. So I will give you an example of this. When I launched the Voicepreneur program last year in 2021, I did not have a single video. I didn't have a workbook. I didn't even have a dashboard. I didn't have anything. I had literally nothing created in that program except for a deadline and some people that knew about that date. And that is how I made it happen. I was like, hey, yo, this is going to come out on February 1st. Who wants in? It costs this much. And then people paid it. And I was like, oh, shit, people paid this. I got to make it happen. I got to make this thing happen on February 1st. Come hell or high water, this thing is happening. And I had that fire under my ass for 12 months. People were paying me every month for 12 months so that I could provide them an experience, right? So that really helps to have a deadline, and then definitely, of course, to have the people and to have a little bit of money. Those are all incentives to keep you on your game. It is so important that you follow through on your word, because here's the thing, my friend, your integrity is only as strong as your consistency. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. Your integrity is only as strong as your consistency. So give yourself that momentum, set those deadlines, pick that one thing, and freaking do it. I believe in you. I am so excited to see what you create. So if this was helpful for you, be sure to take a screenshot of this episode and share your aha moment over on Instagram, where the party is at, and tag me at The Voicepreneur. You can also always DM me. My DMs are always open and welcome to voice teachers, especially podcast listeners. And be sure to check out more info on the Voicepreneur program and how to join the Aligned Voice Teachers Facebook group. I am so excited to connect with you in all of the places. And more importantly, I am so excited for you to commit to your ideas, because we need them. We need your ideas. We need you. So pick that thing and stay with it. I can't wait to see what you create. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a beautiful day, my friend, and I will catch you in the next episode.